Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
If you can help me with this praying stuff, great. So the theme for this retreat is actually calming life storms. And how many of us were present during the Thursday night session? Thursday night. Yes, the first day of the event. So during that session, actually, Daniel talked about the fact that some of life's storms actually have a spiritual source. And sometimes what we believers, what we do is that we focus on the spiritual aspect of things. We do all that we know to do. We do our praying, we do our fasting, we do our giving, we do our confessing of the word. But then we don't do what we have to do also in the natural, so that we can really benefit from what we are praying about. So what I'm going to talk about is actually faith and finance. We're going to deal with creating multiple streams of income. So we're dealing with financial storms of life. So the question is, why create multiple streams of income? If you look actually at, can someone read Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2 for me, please? So whilst we get there, so basically, if you only have one source of income and the unexpected happens, what are you going to do? Yes, please, you read.
Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2. Give a 7 to 7 and also to 8, for you do not know what evil will be on the earth. Amen.
Yes, it says give a 7 to 7 and even to 8. So he's talking about doing more than just one in case there is an evil that comes that hinders the one that you have to being beneficial to you. Basically in life, most of us have one primary source of income, and that is our jobs, which is the traditional source of income. And if calamity strikes, if you lose your job, I've known people who have lost their jobs and their lives have been in disarray. I've known people whose houses have been foreclosed on, who have had to move from their houses to apartments, who have had to change their lives because of them only having one stream of income and then the unexpected happening and there was nothing to rely back on. So why create multiple streams of income? You need multiple streams of income to protect against the unexpected happening. The second most important thing is also you need multiple streams of income to be able to channel what you are praying for into your life. You need to create a channel for maximum flow. And by that I mean, if you look at Isaiah, don't read, but Isaiah 61 verse 6, the Bible tells us that God says he will give us the wealth of nations. If you look at Proverbs 13 verse 33, it says the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. That is you and I. If you look at Isaiah 45 verse 3, it talks about God giving us hidden treasures and riches. For us to be able to tap into the full potential or get the maximum benefit of all that God has for us, we have to create multiple avenues through which they can flow into our lives. Amen?
Amen.
It is good to pray, it is good to fast, it is good to give, but there are also other things that we also must do so that we can benefit from the totality of all that God has for us. If you look at Matthew chapter 23 verse 23, that's part B. Jesus was more or less rebuking the scribes and the Pharisees. He said, all this you have done, but this you should have also done. And I'm paraphrasing, but mostly it's like, this you ought to have done without neglecting the others. So for us to really benefit from all that the Lord has for us, in addition to our praying, our fasting, our giving, our sowing, and also our confession, we have to do certain things, certain practical things in the natural, so that we can tap into those resources or those blessings that the Lord has for us. In my own life, there was a time that I was praying about my finances. And I was praying and I was fasting. I was doing what most people do. You know, you sow seeds, you confess, I believe I'm blessed, I'm highly favored, I'm above and not beneath. You keep confessing the word of the Lord. And I was doing all those things, and the Lord spoke to me during my period of fasting, and his question was, what are you doing to prepare for what you've been praying for? Think about this. What are you doing to prepare for what you have been praying for? Sometimes we focus too much on the spiritual. It is important. It's important to pray. It's important to fast. Even with finances, there are other, everybody prays, but sometimes there are principles of God dictates that actually financial blessings, there are principles that governs it. Prayer is important, but giving, paying your tithe is a crucial part of it. But in the natural, what are the things that you should be doing to be able to bring those blessings into your life? Most of the things that we are praying for, I keep saying that it is finished, but not ready. Most of the things that we've been praying for, God has already provided them. They are already there. But the issue is that there are no channels for them to come into our lives. And that is where we come in. We must create channels for the blessings of the Lord to come into our lives. What are some of the available channels that through the blessings of the Lord can come into our lives? The first one is your career, which is mostly the traditional channel for most of us. You know, you have your job. The second channel through which the blessings can come into your life, or through which you can also receive financial blessing, thereby overcoming the financial storms of life, is through your gifts and your talents. The third one is what I term what you see. What you see has the ability to create a financial stream to your life. And the last one is investments. So we're going to take them one after the other and address them as they apply to us. So career-wise, that's what most people do. You know, you go to college and you get a job. You go to college, you get a job. That is a number one stream of income into our lives. But the main thing that I want us to realize is that you don't want to be compartmentalized. You don't want to be limited. You don't want to put a period where there's supposed to be a comma. So let's say you go to school and you are a doctor. But that does not mean that that has to be the only stream of income into your life. If you are a doctor, you can also be something else. You might have some other gifts that are not related to the medical field that can bring revenues and income into your life. So I put hashtag no periods, only comma. Don't put periods where God has placed a comma. And I believe it was Elizabeth who brought the issue about you are a woman and then you're about to get married and you find out that your spouse is about to want to enter into full-time ministry. This really speaks to that. So the fact that you have a career as a pastor or a priest does not mean that that is all you can do. Most pastors, personally I believe that most pastors, if not all pastors, should be authors. Because your sermons or the topics God gives you, they are books. Your sermons basically, they are books, they are articles. So that is another stream that you can create for yourself. So the first one is your career. The second one are your gifts and talents. Bible says that a man's gift will make room for him and bring him before kings. And when I say gifts and talents, you have to understand, it's not just, I'm talking about just spiritual gifts like, you know, prophesying. No. LeBron James, he has a talent and it's bringing him great income. Kobe Bryant, you know, Ronaldo, you know, Lionel Messi. They have talents that are creating great income sources for them. Anything you are good at can bring you financial blessings, can be a potential stream. Anything you are good at can be a financial source for you. Proverbs 18 verse 16 says that a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before kings. David had a gift. He was a musician. He played the harp. And when King Saul's demons will manifest, they will bring David and he will play his harp, that gift, and then the demons will leave King Saul. Joseph had a gift. His was a bit spiritual, but his gift was interpretation of dreams. So when Pharaoh had a dream, his gift brought him before Pharaoh. That was at that time the greatest empire. And that gift created more than a stream for him. And not just for him, but also for his family, who were even living in other parts of the world at that time. Daniel also had the gift of dream interpretation. So when I talk about gifts, I'm not just talking about spiritual gifts. Also, physical gifts can also bring certain blessings and also create an avenue whereby financial blessings can flow into your life, helping you also to be able to overcome your financial crisis as well. Has anyone heard of Ted Williams? He was a homeless guy who in 2011, a TV channel was doing a segment on the homelessness in a given community. So they went out with their cameras to interview homeless people for their segments. And when they got to this one person, and he started talking, everybody was taken aback because he had such a great voice. It was just a voice that had to be like the kind of voice that you hear on radios. So that voice, he had that gift and talent, but he was homeless. But what he had the ability to create a revenue stream for him. But he was homeless. And once they posted that clip online, it went viral. He got an offer from the Cleveland Cavaliers to come and be one of the announcers. Actually, he got a job being a radio show host, and also he does voiceovers. So sometimes when you watch commercials and you hear the voices in the background, or when you see like a drug commercial when they're talking about the side effects, those voiceovers were some of the things that he's doing now. And now he has a house, he has a family now, he's been restored. So the gift that he had was able to create a stream for him. So in order also for your gift to create a stream for you, there are certain things that must take place. This guy had the gift, but he was still homeless. He didn't know how to really, benefit from the gift that he has. So we'll get to what you have to do to be able to benefit from the giftings and talents that we have been given. So before you can create a stream or a financial stream from your gifts and callings, the first thing is that gift or talent has to be identified. That gift or talent has to be developed. That gift or talent also has to be exposed. In the case of Ted Williams, he had a talent, but it was not exposed, so he could not benefit from it. Exposure is very important. And some people are thinking that I don't have a gift, I don't have a talent. According to Matthew 25, verse 14 to 30, everyone has a gift or talent. It talks about, Jesus was talking about a certain master was traveling, and then he called all his servants. Our gifts and talents are different. To some, he gave 2, some 5, some 10. We all have different gifts, different talents, but everybody has a talent or a gift that has the ability to bring them a source of income. So basically, how do you identify your gifts or your talents? One of the easiest ways you can really identify your gift is what interests you, what areas, what things you have interest in. Also, what comes easy for you. There are certain things that other people struggle to do, but it just comes easy for you. Also, through dreams and also through prophetic words, you can also identify your gifts. There are times that you will dream. You may have never even sung publicly, but you dream and you are singing. You will dream and you are doing certain things. You dream and you are preaching. You will dream and you are doing certain things. Sometimes it's what a man of God can give you a prophetic word that God said he will use you in this. Or I see you doing this. Those are ways that you can identify your gift. How do you develop that gift that has been identified? I cannot stress the importance of mentorship. Mentorship is just the being able to benefit from those who have gone ahead of you without having to make or repeat their mistakes. So if you have a gift, whether it's a spiritual gift or whether it's a physical gift, you need mentors and you need coaching. You can also take classes on it. Let's say you are a pastor and you want to create another avenue. You can take classes on creative writing, thereby creating another avenue to use that gift also as a writer. You can also read up on it. There are a lot of things. I'm a guitar player, and when I was starting, I knew that I liked music, so I did actually teach myself. You go on YouTube, you Google, Guitar 101, and you can learn yourself. There are guitar books that you can buy and read yourself. So there are certain easy ways that are not that expensive, that will not put a strain on your finances, that you can really develop your gift. Not everyone will have access to mentorship or will have access to all the financial literacy classes, but there are free resources online that we can all tap into. And I can stress the importance of practice. You have to practice your gift. This is how you develop it, you practice it. I mean, most of the people that like Prophet Kingsley, Prophet Daniel, most of the time before they started using their gifts to the masses, they will start practicing at home. You will with your spouse, you'll be praying and you just tell you, the Lord showed me this. You need to practice to be able to develop that gift so that it can be an avenue whereby you can receive some financial blessing. Amen? Amen. And then it's not enough to practice because a lot of people in this world have great gifts, but it's not benefiting them. How many times have you all watched American Idol? Someone will come on, they will say, oh, this guy is a bartender, he's a cook. But then they have a gift that has the potential to give them millions, but they've not been given the exposure that they need. So it's very important that once you identify your gift and once you develop it, you also get the exposure needed so that you can create a financial stream to you, thereby being able to overcome the financial crisis. And one, especially as being believers, one of the easy ways we can really get exposure is actually through our various churches. If you are blessed, you have the gift of singing, you can join your local choir, and through that singing, you'll be getting exposure. Also, through whether local or national events like America's Got Talent or American Idol, sometimes they have local or local auditions whereby you can just go and showcase your talent. And also, you can actually create your own exposure. The world now has changed with the way social media is taking off. There was a singer who got a deal to back up Jennifer Hudson. She didn't go on America's Got Talent. She didn't. All she did was she uploaded a clip of her own singing on YouTube and it went viral. So you don't have to depend on all these traditional sources to get exposure. You can also create your own exposure. Amen. Amen. The next section, which is very important to me, that most Christians will miss, is what I term, what do you see? If you look at Ezekiel 37, Ezekiel said, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon me, and he took me into a valley. And then I saw dry bones. And that means there were dry bones in the valley. But when God was taking, the Spirit of God was taking Ezekiel there, God saw an army. But when Ezekiel got there, he saw dry bones. So it's not important what you are looking at as more so as what you see. So my question to you is, what do you see? In 1 Kings 18:44, we read that a prophet told his servant, go outside and tell me what you see. What the servants, when he went outside, what he saw was a cloud. But when the prophet heard what he saw, the prophet knew that it's not a cloud. This is rain. It's not a cloud. So what do you see? Do you see the potential of what you are looking at? Think about it. Do you see the potential of what you are looking at? We are all looking at the same things, but do you see the potential of what you are looking at? Do you see the potential of what you are looking at? Do you see the opportunities in the chaos around you or the inconveniences around you? Most of the time, we look up for the big ideas to help us break through life. But mostly what we have to be doing is just look down. Because most of the ideas to help us break through, they are lying right around us. We are looking at them, but we don't see them. What do you see when you look at what you are looking at? Has anyone heard of the show no towel? The show no towel. A lady went to the beach with her 3 boys. And when they were done swimming, the boys had to change. So them trying to change, they wrapped the beach towel around themselves, but as the boys were trying to put their pants on, the towel kept on falling down. So the lady just asked herself, is there another way to keep this towel from falling down? So she thought about hands-free towel. And she just, this same towel that we look at, she just cut a slit in the middle of the towel. And that innovative idea has brought her millions. So basically, this is basically what she did. She just cut a slit in the middle, just so that the boys can put the towel on whilst they get dressed after the beach. And most amusement park, if you go to Disney, the products are there. If you go to Six Flags, they are selling these products. It's just a simple idea. She was looking at something, but then she saw an opportunity in what she was looking at. Has anyone heard of the drop stopper? The drop stopper. See, sometimes when you're driving and you're talking on the phone, your phone can actually fall down between the gap between your seat and your armrest. Two guys were driving and they were talking on the phone, and one of the guys' phone fell down through the armrest. It was an inconvenience to them. And they just decided, we need to find a way to stop this. And they developed just a simple idea. And this idea has made them millions. So when you encounter the inconveniences in your life, when you are looking at what do you see the opportunities in them? Because your ability to see that opportunity is what will help you create that revenue stream. Has anyone heard of Ryan's Toy Review? Oh, see, yeah, that kid, the guy's answer. I have 3 daughters and they love Ryan's Toy Review. A father, was thinking about buying a particular toy for his son. And he just wanted to see, okay, what are people saying about this toy? And he went online. And just like most, if you want to buy items off Amazon and you go there, most of the products, you see reviews there. But all the reviews he saw were done by parents. So he wants to get a child's perspective about this toy, not the parent's perspective, the child's perspective. Nothing of that sort was available. So he just created a YouTube channel whereby he buys a toy and his son, who's called Ryan, will just play with the toy and just talk about the toy. What he likes about the toy, what he doesn't like about the toy. And he puts it online. Most of the videos they put online have at least 1 million views. 1 million. So right now what companies do is that anytime they create a new toy, they will ship one to the boy to do a review of the toy. And they will pay them. In 2017, just by the boy talking about toys, they made $11 million. Most of us are seeing all these challenges. We are looking at it, but we are not seeing the potential. So my question is, what do you see when you look at what you're looking at? What do you see when you see the challenges that you are facing in your personal lives? Other people face the same challenges, but they are able to come up with an idea that is bringing them financial blessing. See, the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. There are financial resources available to us, but we have to create a stream. There has to be a channel whereby they can flow into our life. And if we are able to not just look at things, but able to see the opportunities in things, that's where we can create an avenue besides just your career and your giftings. There is also an avenue whereby the blessings can flow into our lives. We Christians, we have to be the solution to the challenges in our environment. I will say that we are an advantage over most of these, over everybody else, because one, we are Christians and we have the Spirit of God in us. The Spirit of God. God is an inventor, God is a creator. And if that same Spirit that God used to create the world lives in us, there is no way, and if we are created in the image and in the likeness of God, there is nothing against working, having a career, working for other people. But we should be creating. We should be bringing solutions. We should be creating, bringing solutions, and thereby creating an avenue for financial resources to come to our life. Most of these people, some of the problems that they solve that are bringing them millions, some of them I encountered them. I've had my phone fall down, but some of them I encountered them and it's okay. It's an inconvenience, but I'll just deal with it. But other people are seeing opportunities in their inconvenience. They are seeing opportunities in their chaos. It's not enough to look. What do you see when you look? And the last stream is actually investments. That is where you let your money work for you. And at some point, once you're able to create multiple streams, you will be able to also let your money work for you, because in your attempt to create multiple streams, you also want to be considerate of your time. Your time is a premium commodity. We all have a set amount of time. So you can't spend all your time just creating or generating wealth. You have to be able to, whilst you are sleeping, your money is working for you. Whilst you are preaching, your books can be selling. Whilst you are preaching, if you have investment properties, it can be generating income for you. So other areas, investment properties, that's what most people talk about. Also, funding projects. There are quite a lot of funding projects that, if you do your due diligence, your research, that a lot of people can tap into. You don't need like the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Sometimes there will be crowdfunding or Kickstarter initiatives whereby someone will just say, hey, I need 10 people to give me $1,000 each for this business, and once the profit comes in, you get, let's say 1,000 and do that. It's not much, but then, your money is still working for you. So investments are some of the areas also we can create a stream of income. So any question before we proceed? I want this to be very interactive. So. All right, we can keep going next. Go ahead.
I was trying to place those in my notes. You talked some later about it, but I initially think about must be exposed, like what you have must be exposed. I don't know whether you want to touch some more again on this, because I loved it.
Right, so
just
right.
talk as it.
Your gift has to be exposed or revealed to them, revealed for you to benefit from it. You can be the greatest singer. If nobody knows you are the greatest singer, or nobody has heard about you, it's hard for you to generate income. You can be a great author, but if you've not put pen to paper and written books that are going out there, all you have is a gift. And also talking about the exposure of gift, in as much as the gift has the potential to bring you a revenue stream, your gifts and talents are also something that you'll be judged on. That is something that a lot of Christians forget. To me, the two important things in life is being saved and then discover why you were saved. Paul said what? That I may apprehend that which I was apprehended for. God has placed certain gifts and talents in us. Most people forget that, it looks like I'm deviating, but I will come back to it. Most people forget that there is also going to be a second judgment. We talk about, going to hell, heaven or hell. But we don't know that it's not just enough to go to heaven. Your worthiness in heaven, will be actually what you did with the gifts and talents that you were given here. So in as much as it's important to create a revenue stream, we also need to think about the bigger picture about the afterlife. How we have used our gifts and talents that we're given. Because looking at the passage that Jesus was talking about the talents, he talked about the fact that the one that just brought what he was given. One multiplied, the 5 made it 10, the 10 made it 20, but the one that had one just brought what he was given. And the Lord, the master, was not happy. He said at least you could have put it in the bank and at least had some interest to it. So we are expected, in as much as it is enough to create revenue source for us, we are expected also to utilize our gift. So back to your point of exposure, like Ted Williams, he had a beautiful voice, but it was not exposed to the point whereby it could benefit him. If you have a gift, most of the time our giftings benefit us. If you have a spiritual gift, it benefits you, but your gift benefits you in a financial sense if it benefits others. If you are a great singer, you can sing at your own house. You can worship. You don't need to be doing concerts or be doing worship events or putting out CDs. You can worship at the comfort of your own home. It's great. It will bless your soul. The presence of the Lord will fall down. But if you want to generate a revenue from it, you need to find a way to get it out there. People must see you. People must see you. And also, sometimes also, it's not just people seeing, also the right people also must see you. So that's where the exposure comes from. And that's why I said, for us believers, the church is a great place to start. If you read the stories of most of the people that we call superstars, like the Ushers, the Beyoncés, most of them, they started in the church. So the church is a great place to start, to get the exposure. And also, you can also create your own exposure. Like the example I gave about the lady who uploaded a clip of her singing on social media. And even if you go to New York and you go to Times Square, a lot of people are creating their own exposures. They have different talents. They are just standing by the corner of the street. They are playing their guitar, they are singing, and people are walking by just, putting money. You might not make a lot, but, they are getting something for their gift. So that's what I meant by the exposure part.
So I think I'm getting a different insight from this quotation that you used, Proverbs 18, verse 16, which says that the man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great kings. Because growing up, I have known like the gifts are not talents, but gifts as you are actually given. But today, I think you've given me like a different twist, that it can be like a talent can also bring you before great kings. Yeah, I think I just wanted to add that.
Go ahead.
A question that I have is, do you share your gift or before the time that your gift has reached the point of big exposure? Like if you have a gift and you want to teach others to help the ministry of God, is that something you hold on or you share?
You have to share.
Okay.
To me, especially when it comes to teaching, I've played guitar for a long time, and I've taught a lot of people guitar. And the best way you learn something is actually you teaching it. And the proof, I always say the proof of mastery is in the ability to simplify. So if you have actually really mastered something and you're able to simplify, that really is an indication that actually you own whatever gift that you have. So you have to teach it.
This one is a comment/advertising. I wrote a book on what you're saying, which is going to be in the stores in 6 weeks. But part of what my book talks about is what you need to get to the next step is already given to you. Which means look around, what is it that you have now? And that is the opening. If you use what you have now, it's going to open the door for the next thing, for the next thing, for the next thing. So it's that movement that causes that. So for instance, if you're great at math, how does that open a gift for you? Teach, maybe some single parents in your church, teach their little boys after school. If it's piano, like you say, guitar, whatever it is, you can still make money out of it however you can. And it's not being greedy, it's just keeping your gift alive, and in the end, it's blessing you back.
Just go ahead. Yes.
Okay, so now I like to be practical. Someone like me, I don't know, my genetic makeup, there's no business inside. I've scanned it back and forth. Honestly, I have not found business inside. Okay. You spoke about my profession. I happen to be a medical doctor. So, but I've always had that tendency to want to give people my medical practice for free. Okay. It's always been like when I worked in a rural area, for example. I would always want to like talk from some people who do not have which was not like my other classmates who were very business oriented. My other medical by the time I was graduating, I already planning how to buy an ultrasound machine and ECG machine. Set up a small where people will come for testing and then they'll be able to make money out of that. So I had to learn so if you are like me and you hear now that you have to invest and you don't have that business savvy mind to know where to look at and where to put your hand because those things are not ringing any bell in you, how do you start?
See, I think it's a matter of perspective, in my opinion. I work for a pharmaceutical company, and most of the people who are making a lot of money in our industry are not people who are business savvy. They are more what we call thinkers. A lot of them, they will sit on boards, and they are paid for what they are paid for their opinions. So it's a matter of perspective. So you can be a medical doctor, and you don't have any inkling to do business, but you can also sit on a board or sit or even just give reviews. There are people who actually provide reviews online for companies, for drug companies, and then they will get paid. So you don't have to be an entrepreneur like in the standard or traditional sense, or be a small business owner, like register a business, start a business, to create another revenue. And to touch on what you also said earlier, you said you were given your for free, you were just, practically free. That's also important part, as part of the gift development process. There was a time in my life that I've played, and there were times when I was playing guitar, that I would just go to church, play, or there was a concert, I would play, I won't charge anything, I would just play for free. All those things, I wasn't getting anything for it, but I was getting exposure. So now in New Jersey, someone is coming to do a major concert, and like, we need a guitar player. Because I've already played the exposure, they hey, call Fred, or call Bishop. So sometimes what you are doing for free is also a seed you are sowing that will come back to you. That's it.
Sure. Because I think I resonate with you. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'll scam myself and I don't But a few years back, I realized that I did not understand the economy in the US. And I set myself to understand how this economy works. Because I realized that I can't just work for money for somebody and make the kind of money I want to make. I need to find a way to make money. And the first step was to understand how the economy works. So I enrolled in that Financial Peace University by day and I'll suggest that you all buy the package, go through the course. Because Financial Peace University.
Financial peace.
Yeah, Financial Peace University. No, but buy the package so you get the complete lesson. It teaches everything from investment, even into life insurance and all those little things that sometimes we tend to neglect. So I got a good foundation there. Then I proceeded with, okay, I realized that maybe my outlet to make extra income would be investment. I started looking at the life of Warren Buffett. And I started reading up on Warren Buffett, how he started investments. So right now, I wasn't planning to disclose this, but I'm getting into a partnership with somebody who is talented and gifted and educated in investments, so that we can partner and begin to do something. I feel that I can make money through that. I don't have to have all the gifts and talents in that area, but I can contribute something that can multiply itself.
So I have a question. My question is, especially those of us who were raised in Africa, we run into this problem. We talk about diversifying, and the problem we run into is from a very young age, we were actually directed against that. The example I'll give you is, we're going to school, but then we also have sports. So we want to do sports. Your parents tell you, no, you have to focus on one. You don't focus on multiple. You're on the field and you come back in the field. Because you can't succeed focusing on multiple things. They tell you jack of all trades, master of none. So you also have to focus on one thing. So my question is, how true is that? Because sometimes the fear of people going into multiple areas is that when you don't focus on one thing, you never excel in anything. You have to focus on one thing. So is that something that we should buy into, or how do we overcome that logic?
I think that logic is flawed. That's my personal opinion. Because looking at a lot of other people, and also other people, a lot of successful people, they have one head, they have two hands, two legs. Other people have been able to manage other things besides just that one thing. And my thinking is, if they can do it, I can do it too. Because they are no special or better than me. And I think I kind of understand where you come from, because I also have a similar background. A lot of us were gifted in a lot of other ways. But right now, to some extent, unfortunately, some of our gifts is I think it's more past the prime. I know some people that were great at soccer, that they could have made money. But now that, they're thinking, oh, I want to go, but now you are too old to go play soccer and make money.
No. See, hold on, sorry. That's what I talk about even in my book. Y'all get back my book. But you're never too old, you're never too young. Wherever it starts, that's where it starts. And
Right, but in
It
specific,
depends. It depends.
the game is changing. Trust me.
but what I'm saying is, again, okay, fine, if you have to be specific, but he's asking is, can you go in multiple places?
Oh yes.
And I believe in, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, which means that you can, just because you can do all, doesn't mean you can do everything. Is that making sense? So you can do it all, but you can't do everything, meaning that whatever you're working on, perfect it. Once that's mature, you can move to the next, and then you can operate in multiple places. You can't just hand here, hand here, hand here. We all know when you put more focus on this thing suffers, or this other thing suffers. So perfect, keep going, then you have 5 channels, 6 channels, 10 channels of incomes, because you have time to manage those things.
But I think to go back to what he was saying, he was talking about sports like soccer. You can't say
You can still play, it doesn't have to be a talent.
No, but you have to at some point.
How do you know that? You don't know that.
It's because we're human beings. We are human beings. The reality is, at some age, even if you look at professional
It's
sports,
all perspective.
it's
No,
not
but
perspective, it's natural.
in other cases, it's perspective. But when it comes to professional sports, once you get to 40, you can be playing the Premier League at 40
Okay,
or
me, my
playing
argument
football.
is why don't you make an adult sport team and something? You can still do it, that's my point. If you go and take an age group and you make a team for them and build a group, you can still make it happen. So to me, there's no limit. Unless it's all perspective and it's all in your mind. If you start an adult soccer team right now, another adult cricket team, guess what? It's a league. It turns into something else. It's up to you.
That will work.
She has a point.
I know that's all about it.
Right.
She has a point because sometimes older people wish they could play soccer.
No, they play for recreation.
Exactly, and other people can go and watch and make money, So that would be a new avenue of
It's
it.
possible.
But what I want to add is, those of us who come from Africa, the way we were schooled, we were trained to go to school and work for somebody. In fact, we were never taught to create jobs. We were never taught to create jobs. In fact, I never knew what a resume was until I came to America. That's not good. Okay, well, yeah, I was a science student. Daniel was my classmate, So now, the business students, they knew what a resume was. They know how to write, how do we call this? I forgot the name.
CV.
No, not CV. A proposal, business proposal. So, recently I was asking one of my friends, why did they teach we the science students? Why did they teach us how to write business proposal? Then he was saying, the business students were taught how to write business proposal, and the reason was so that you, the science students, would put them for them to teach you, and then they would. But see, that was a big how do you call it? Disadvantage to us, So at my age, now I have to, if I want to create a business, or if I want to get contracts, I have to now learn how to write proposals, But meanwhile, my mates who were business students are experts. And some of them have already made money, So even the way we were brought up in school had a very negative part against it, And so I think we, in addition to working for others, we should Bible says that be transformed by the renewal of your mind. So we all have to renew our minds and start thinking business-wise. How we ourselves, our children of God, will create businesses and employ others. However, every righteous way we have to get up knowledge, we should get it and start creating businesses. If it gets to a point where now we can leave the jobs, our regular jobs, and do our own businesses. Praise be to God. Also, and one other thing too is I don't know what we are going to talk about it, but God's question and answers, let me just chip it in. Partnership. Christians don't partner because a lot of Christians are proven to be untrustworthy in business deals. But we have the Spirit of God in us that are trustworthy Christians among us.
in the church of God. So we should pool our resources together and start business. When we're able to pool our resources together, the uncomfortability of leaving my job or spending too much time trying to create something else, which will affect my job, will affect my time with my job, it gets reduced. The Bible says that how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is as the oil poured upon the head of Aaron, running down his beard and into his garment. So Christian partnership is very good. If we partner, alone that you may go to the bank to get and they will not give you. Because you are many people, you are a force to reckon with, so they will give you the loan for the business. So that is what I want to add to it.
All right, Vine. Any more questions before we proceed? All right, so the next question is then, what's next? Let's say you have looked at something and now you do see something. What are the next steps that you have to take? Right, so the first step is actually to evaluate yourself. Evaluate yourself for your strengths and your weaknesses. That's where the partnership will come in. Depending on what you are seeing, you want to evaluate yourself, because if it's something that demands other areas that you are not strong in, you might, if you don't have the financial resources to pay a consultant, you might want to partner with someone who is experienced in that specific area, who has a strength in that area, to come on board with you. The next thing is actually you want to do your market research, because sometimes I've thought about a lot of ideas and I'll go online and someone's already doing it. But just because someone is doing it doesn't mean that you can also do it. Uber and Lyft, more or less, they are doing the same thing, but they are all making money. So just because someone is doing it doesn't mean that you cannot come up with an innovative way, as a better way to do it, or even do the same thing they are doing and still make money. So we also want to find out, is there actually a market need for what I'm seeing? Some things that there are inconveniences that we come up with solutions to, but is that a bother to people enough for them to pay money for? Is there a market need? You want to think about that. And like I said, or touched on, is this product already on the market? And just because it's on the market does not mean that you cannot also come up with your own product as well. But then there are other technicalities that you have to look into regarding, patent infringements and all that, but we are not going to get into all that. But those are some of the other things that you have to look into. So once you have identified what you see, you want to get feedback. Feedback is very important, and you can get feedback from mostly focus groups or friends and family. You can also get feedback from friends and family. Focus groups are some of the easiest and much more cost-effective ways. You can get a pool of, go to any college campus, just bring some pizza and just give them samples, and then they're waiting on. College kids, they know there's going to be free food. They'll spend 15 minutes to do a survey or give some feedback and just grab some free food. Or you can also just check it on friends and family. Let's say you just came up with a great cookie recipe. You can just bake, at Thanksgiving, when families and friends and families are around, just let people taste it and see. Is that something that they'll pay for? And just find out how much would you if someone's selling, how much would you pay for? Just get feedback from people, because you don't want to just get an idea and just put your money into it. Sometimes it's a great idea, but nobody's really going to pay for it. So once you have all that out of the way, and I didn't know that she was writing a book about it. I think most of this should be covered in the book that she's written. So you just want to make it official. That's where you register your business. Depending on the weaknesses you identified or how you want to structure your business, it could be an LLC, a partnership, it could be a sole proprietorship. And then you come up with you need a business name or website. Right now, I think most people are not really doing. If you go to our website, most people are just, they will have a Facebook page, or they'll list their product on Instagram, and they are making money without having a website. So we just want to register your business, and there are local and state requirements that you have to follow. Depending on the type of business, you might need to get permits and licenses, trademarks, copyrights, and then also patents. So then once you have all this, the next thing is actually you need to do a business plan. And when the Prophet Amir was talking about actually, the proposal was talking about is actually the business plan. And the business plan is actually something you put together after you've done what we call a feasibility study, you get a feasibility report. I have linked to 5, so I had a complete section of a business plan. I have some PowerPoint slides, and if anyone wants, I can send it to them. I also have a business plan from 2 companies that they are doing 2 different things. These are very detailed business plans, so if you want to start writing, you don't know where to start, you can use this as a guide, as a sample guide to help you through it. And the last thing I'll say is, personally in my life, when I'm thinking about, I'm praying about all these things and God is telling me, what are you doing to prepare? These are some of the things that I have to do to prepare for what I'm praying for. Because I'm praying for financial blessing, I'm praying for the Lord to expand me, praying for breakthrough. I need to create the streams whereby the breakthroughs can flow through. So I need to find my talents, I need to use them, develop and use them. I need to also have investment through which blessings can flow through me. Because if the wealth of the wicked is laid out for the just, and you are just have one stream of income and you're working for someone, so, and someone is paying your salary, so, and the blessing is coming through your job, do you know the percentage of even their bonus structure? Do you know the percentage of the bonus that the employees get? So if the blessings are to come through your job, basically your blessings will be taken over by your bosses and your companies. You need to create an avenue whereby your blessings can come to you directly. So you utilizing your gifts, you being able to see the opportunities in the challenges or the chaos around you, and you also having investments will create the avenue for the blessings to flow through you. Jesus, the Bible says that God said, I wish above all things that you prosper, even as your soul prospers. So we know that it is the will of God for us to be blessed. So we need to do our part. We need to do the praying, the fasting, the giving. You have to pay your tithe, it's very important. That is where financial business, that's where it starts from. That's the foundation. You have to pay your tithe. You need to sow seeds, and you need to also have what we call daily confession. You need to confess what you wish to see in your life. In addition to that, there are other things that you must not leave undone. You need to create the streams so that the blessings can come. The blessings is finished, but it's not ready to come to you because there are no pathway. So it is finished and not ready. So what are you doing to prepare for what you've been praying for? You need to create those streams. So this is a quote that actually is one of my mantras that I live by, because I know that it's not God. If it is to be, it is up to me. If you are to experience the blessings of God, it is up to you. Not just in praying and fasting, but also in creating those channels. I don't want to generalize, but most, especially in Africa, most of the prayer towers, people that are praying, you say most of them are struggling financially. Most of them. Because they are focused on one thing and left the other undone. We have to bring the two together if we are to really see the manifestation of what wealth is different from money, of what God is talking about. Wealth. The wealth of nations. The wealth of the wicked. Hidden riches. Investments. Kenneth Copeland was flying and he was looking through his window. And the Lord he was looking at the land, and the voice of the Lord told him, buy that land. He bought it, and there was natural gas on that land in Texas. He supplies a portion of the state of Texas with natural gas. So the wealth and the riches, we need to create the avenue. What is the avenue that he used? The gift. The gift to discern. It's a gift that he had, that he developed, the gift to discern the voice of God. Sometimes we hear certain things because our gifts have not been identified and developed. We think, oh, it's my mind. Sometimes it might even look silly, but oh, it's just my mind. So we must identify our gifts, develop them, if we are to benefit from them. We are going to go into a period of a prayer session to really deal with some prayer points. So what we're going to do is going to be slightly different than how prayer sessions are done. I'm going to put all the prayers there, and we're going to have about 30 minutes, and we're just going to start praying. So everybody is at a different place in their lives. So you just, as you look at the prayer, you just pray what applies to your life, or what areas you want to see the prayers manifesting. And one thing I want to say before we go into the prayer is addressing the issue of fear. So many people have gifts and talents that can break them through, but fear is just holding them back. Fear is holding them back. So many people, there is a movie called Sing that my kids watch. And have anyone seen that movie? At the end, yes, there was this elephant in that movie that had the most amazing voice. Yes, but then but her fear, even at the time when she went to the audition, she couldn't, nothing would come out. But then when she was taught how to overcome her fear, she overcame her fear during the last performance they did, and she was the last singer that went on stage. And the way she sang, everybody was blown away. So we need to overcome our fear so that we can walk into our giftings and our calling. So many people they have gifts. You'll be sitting with someone in a plane or in a car, and you have the gift of discernment, and you discern something, but then fear will let you not talk to them. Sometimes even you're surprised that you tell them. I know a preacher who was flying, Matthew Ashimolao. He was flying back he came for a program in the US, flying back to England. And he was sitting next to someone. And God gave him a word for that person. And he told that word to that person. Immediately there, that person actually, it was a confirmation that person was waiting for. That person gave him a check. So sometimes our gifts are there, but fear is limiting us. God wants you to tell someone something. You don't know where that will lead, or what the impact it will have in that person's life, or even you using your gift, the impact it will have in your life. So fear is also one of the things that we have to deal with if we are to effectively use the gift and talents that the Lord has given us. So I'm going to put the prayer points on the board, and we're just going to, as you are led in what area that you feel the need to be, you just want to be praying. You want to pray that God should open your eyes to see opportunities around you, opportunity in the chaos around you. There are great opportunities around us that we are not seeing. We want to pray that God should give us creative solutions. Sometimes there is a solution that someone has and they are making money, but then there is a better way that no one is seeing. God can give you that insight. You want to pray that God to reveal and activate. There are hidden gifts. There are so many gifts in all of us here that we don't even know that we have. Sometimes you'll be surprised that I didn't know I could do that. There are some hidden gifts in us that must be revealed and activated. We want to pray that God should reveal and activate those. We want to connect us also with destiny helpers. One of the things that we need in life are people that will help you along the way. Every major person has one. Even looking at the life of Joseph. Joseph, when his brothers were conspiring to kill him, most people don't know that actually one of his brothers, they were going to kill him, but it was one of the brethren that spoke on his that said, no, let's sell him. So, in essence, actually that brother telling them to sell him was actually helping Joseph to fulfill his destiny. So we need destiny helpers in our lives. And also, one of the most important things in life is mercy and favor. The Bible says that it's not him that willeth, nor him that runneth, but it's of the Lord that shows mercy. Favor is one thing that I believe every Christian should pray for and desire. Because favor is one thing that favor will set you apart. Two people can create the same thing, but favor will let people see something about your thing that they will see about. It could be the same thing, but favor can let them see something about what you created that they don't see about the other person. Okay, and also want to pray that God will remove, if you look at Psalm 34 verse 4, that God should remove fear from us. So we have 30 minutes after the 5, so we're going to pray for about 25 minutes. We're going to stand up and just pray for about 25 minutes. Go ahead. Sorry.
So I wanted to ask something small about when we're coming up with this entrepreneurial stuff. I think one thing that we should also be very aware of is the friends that we find ourselves around, right? says that as iron sharpens iron, so does the man sharpen the countenance of his fellow brother. There are certain friends that when you're actually prospering, inwardly they are not happy, you know. And I know of friends who are genuinely happy for you. They just want to see you like move from one step to another step. I've encountered both like types of friendship. So as Christians, when we try to come up with something, we should know like the kind of people that we will surround ourselves with. You know, I have a personal experience. I'm in the United States because of the friends that I found myself, like the caliber of friends that I found myself with. When we were in high school, when we were in, like back home in college, we were doing our first degree. Everybody like they were trying to put ideas. Oh, let us try US schools or something. We thought it was not possible. But because of the friends that we found ourselves with, all of us are now like we find ourselves here and we are being coached. So that is something that I want to put across, that we should be very wary about the people that we find, the company that we find ourselves with.
Yes, so success by association is very important, the people around you, because if you are around people who are doing business, it will motivate you to do this, because it will help you to see something. It will motivate you to do this. So yes, very important to put your service, because there are some people that even as you are trying to see things, they will be discouraging you. So yes, I like the point that you raised. It's very important that we are mindful of the people that we surround ourselves with. So we are going to, if there are no more questions, we're going to stand up and enter into a time of prayer. So basically, no one will be calling out the prayers, we just want to be praying. And those kind of prayers, you don't need to be screaming or shouting it. You can pray silently, you just connect with God, talk to God. It's not about how loud you scream or how, if you can meditate and just go find connect with God, so be it. Just find a way to connect with God. Alright, so let's get up and then just go through them, and after about 25 minutes